death of Tyre Nichols, to reinvigorate the movement for racial justice, and to deplore the brutality of our policing system. 27 days ago, 5 police officers took a life no different than each one of ours. What we're seeing is beyond the use of excessive force. This is constant terror. This is the ugliest face of humanity deliberately murdering a black man. This is the fatal power of white supremacy and ego. This is proof that the war on drugs and the war on poverty and the stigmatization of mental health has created a police force designed to oppress and kill, a police system that has failed us year after year. 55 years ago, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in Memphis, and today, Tyre Nichols, an innocent man, is beaten to death by the police in the same city. It's hard to hope for change year after year. I know that. But in order for us to see change, Tennessee State Representative Justin Pearson, just a year younger than Tyre, said, "It takes persistent and engaged and activated constituents." My name is Augustin Dow. I represent the students of Carlsbad, and I work on the board of the Carlsbad Equality Coalition, the organization hosting tonight's Vigil, and the organization dedicated to disrupting white supremacy and anti-blackness. Last year, the CEC worked with Carlsbad to finally establish a civilian police engagement commission, but that's something Memphis has had for years. This community is far from having a perfect agent of public safety, and sometimes our very best is still behind the very worst. There's a lot we need to do because something like this could very well happen in Carlsbad and all throughout San Diego. I visited the Carlsbad Police Department's training facilities along with the CEC and with Yusuf Miller to assist in the review and revision of their de-escalation program. I will commend the department's willingness to listen and help, but we don't even begin to scratch the surface of reining in the law enforcement's God complexes and warrior mentalities that think that they can take away a life whenever they choose. Those officers in Memphis didn't see Tyre as another human being, because you just don't do that to another person. You don't do that to someone's son, you don't do that to someone's father, you don't do that to someone's family. And that's the fault of our police, it's the fault of our schools, and it's the fault of our culture for immortalizing anti-blackness, even in those 5 black police officers. We need the next generation of youth and the next generation of law enforcement to humanize marginalized communities, to actually see us as people. That's why several of us here have been pushing for diversity, equity, and inclusion in the Carlsbad Unified School District, and that's why all of us are going to change the policing system as we know it today. Carlsbad allocated $51.2 million to the police this fiscal year, 17 times as much as we spent on homeless services, for example. Instead of investing in a broken system that punishes and terrorizes the vulnerable, we have a unique opportunity to stop shoveling money into a black hole and start diverting our power to a more feasible solutions that prioritize the more important health, well-being, education, and safety of our community. I hope we can start, thank you. I hope we can start with removing the violent militarized police officers that we hear about in the headlines that we don't need to encounter every day from our traffic stops and from our schools, and instead put that money towards housing the homeless instead of abusing them. Towards people actually trained and ready to address a mental health crisis rather than whose instinct is to shoot it. As we go forward from tonight, persistent, engaged, and activated constituents, I want to remind you that marginalized communities are tired of empty allyship. The second you let up, the second they give up making change. This year, the Carlsbad Equality Coalition is asking that you energize your allyship. I implore you to renew the anger and sorrow that we all feel and apply it to the push for justice. The police department is here to listen and help. They want to improve, and we're gonna fight like hell to make sure they do. Thank you all again for coming out tonight. My heart goes out to Tyre Nichols and his family, and especially his 4-year-old son. And I only hope that Carlsbad and the rest of America can provide allyship and action instead of another year of apathy. Thank you.